Welcome to Mishna study Masechet Eruvin Perek Mishnah Tet. Over here in this Mishnah, we're going to discuss opening a door from the outside, right? So if a person's standing in the Reshut Harabim, could he take his key, right? And which is already in the, like let's say he left his key by the door, right? Which is by the Reshut Yachid. Could he go ahead and take the key while he's standing in the Reshut Harabim and pick it up from the Reshut Yachid, open the door, and place it back down, right? Or do we worry, and that's going to be Mishnah, that he may draw the key and put it back in his pocket, back in his pocket or something while he's standing in the Reshut Harabim, and then he ended up picking up from one domain and placing it back in the other. So lo ya'amod adam b'reshut yachid, the person cannot stand in a private domain, v'yiftach b'reshut harabim, and open something in the public domain, b'reshut harabim v'yiftach b'reshut yachid, or vice versa, right? So in the public domain outside and open something that's a private domain. Unless he made a mechitza, a partition that is 10 tefachim high, right? Which makes it a Reshut Yachid, Divrei Rabbi Meir. Amru lo, Chavim tell him, Maaseh, look, there was a case, B'shuk shel patamim, Shaya b'Yerushalayim, Shayu no'alim u'manichin et ha'maftech b'halon shel gabe ha'petach. There was a case in the Shuk shel patamim in Jerusalem. Right? The Shuk shel patamim is a place where they would fatten up, animals, sheep, chickens, right? That's what they would do. And they would lock the stores. They would open them up, on Shabbat. People with things from before or whatnot, and they would leave the key on top of the windowsill that's above the door. So we see over here that they would do that. They would stand outside in this area in Jerusalem, and they would open the door. Now, outside that area in Jerusalem is not necessarily a Reshut Harabim. And that's why the Mishnah, they fix up the Mishnah, and Rabban points out that Rabbi Meir also says that you're not allowed to stand in a Carmelit and open up something, that's in a Reshut Yachid. Right? And the Jerusalem itself, because they would, close the doors at night, it was a walled city, even though they didn't make an Eruv, so it's not a Reshut Yachid, it's still considered a Carmelit. It's not considered a thoroughfare of Reshut Harabim. But even so, we see that what would they do? They would go ahead and they would open the doors. Right? Hamim say it's allowed. You could stand in a Carmelit, or Rabbi Meir didn't allow a Carmelit. Hamim was saying it is allowed over here in a Carmelit, and open up the door that's in Reshut Yachid. No response from Rabbi Meir, right? That's the case, right? As mentioned. And Rabbi Yosef comes and says, look, just side point, shuk shel tzamarim. It wasn't a shuk, a marketplace where they would fatten up chickens. Rather, it was a place, a shuk, where they would sell wool, right? Samarim is a place of wool, as opposed to the shuk shel patamim, right? Patamim is fattening, right? Fattening comes from the language of when the Targum Unku speaks about the beriot, right? Beriot v'tovot, right? Speaking about the Yosef's Paro's dreams when Yosef comes to interpret them. So the translation of beriot is petimata, right? So shuk shel patamim, that's what we get.